This presentation will discuss communication. It is something that all of us at some point in time truly enjoy. Sometimes we become frustrated, sometimes we become paranoid, and we have all sorts of different feelings because of communication, or sometimes maybe the feelings because of lack of communication. So this presentation is going to talk about the importance of human interactions and socialization, as well as professional, written, and nonverbal communication skills. Proper communication is essential. I would encourage you to watch this YouTube and think about when we give instructions why it's important to know who our audience is and how to give those instructions properly. Each individual has basic human needs, what is better known as Maslow's hierarchy. So when we look at Maslow's hierarchy, I think it does sum up often the various stages that we go through in life. That at the bottom of the pyramid are the physiologic needs: food, shelter, clothing. These are the essential needs that one needs to survive. We all know if we can have empathy with the homeless, often they are begging for food. They often don't have proper shelter. The clothing is not what we would aspire to have. So physiologic has to be met before the next stage, which is safety and security. If you think about the homeless, they really don't have safety. And I understand that none of us can be guaranteed safety all the time. However, often we feel some sense of safety and security because of those around us, because we can lock our doors, whatever that may be. But that lower level has to be met first before we can get to the next one. And then the next one on top of that pyramid is love and belonging. And this is that concept of socialization and feeling welcomed. This is where often the bullying, fails, is because it really, impinges upon someone's feeling of being accepted. They feel threatened, so therefore they feel that their safety is being threatened. And, it can go down the pyramid when you are being bullied by someone else. But if we can, be fortunate enough to not be bullied or ridiculed, then we can also then build our self-esteem and respect. And I am a firm believer that you need to show respect for all individuals. Professionalism, respect, avoiding the biases, and we're all, capable of doing that, and we're all capable of being judgmental. But, we want to help others with self-esteem. It's not the fact that, we are not, as individuals, we all have our own level of self-esteem, and we all deserve respect. But we also know at times that we make choices maybe that we don't deserve that respect. Or maybe we communicate in a way that might be less respectful than desired or perceived as less respectful. And then the top is that, and again, this is individuality, is that self-actualization. When you reach that plateau where you are satisfied, you have reached some goals that you have set for yourselves, and, maybe it is providing good quality patient care, being a good sonographer, being a good family member, being a good spouse, whatever that may be. Maybe it's, taking up some sort of hobby, but where you can find contentment is that self-actualization. Keep in mind that does not mean that you make, a lot of dollars. It's about the internal contentment, the internal contentment. So when we look at Maslow's hierarchy, we have to, think about this in the context of patients. Okay, we need to provide them the essential comfort to begin with. That is that basic communication, that basic feeling of safety and security, helping them get up on the table. Not just, oh, okay, get up on the table, and then they're not sure how to get up. They're facing down instead of facing up. They want a sense of compassion, and they certainly want to be respected, and that is in your communication. So your patient's needs, their physical needs are oxygen. So therefore, they may come with an oxygen tank. You need to make sure that that oxygen hose is not obstructed, not kinked in any way. They need that oxygen to breathe. Sometimes they can't lay flat on the table, and therefore you may have to elevate the top of the bed. They need water, and often we have our patients be NPO, but there again, they may ask for that and to help with that. They need food. We all need food and nutrients, whether we hope we can eat it orally. If not, it's a feeding tube, which, again, is empathy. And therefore, if somebody has a feeding tube, you don't really want to be talking to someone about the pizza party that you had the night before. So you need to be very sensitive to, maybe what some of their interventions are. And therefore you cannot be, talking about some other personal conversation. They certainly need, the bowel function, they need rest, and they need shelter. And without satisfaction of any one of these, a patient could die. So keeping in mind, sometimes we do get abdomen ultrasounds because they have bowel obstructions, and we can be helpful in at least suggesting that. We want to be quiet if you are going through the inpatient area, so that if there are individuals sleeping. Safety and security. Patients fear procedures and equipment. Therefore, you must explain what you will be doing and how you will be performing it and what sensations to expect. If I'm pressing the transducer too hard, you let me know. I'm going to be putting some warm gel on your abdomen, or maybe cold gel on your abdomen. We're going to place the transducer. You need to, introduce yourself first of all. Get their name so that you have the correct patient. Give them a sense that your attention is on them and not at the distraction, whatever that distraction might be for you. Make sure your attention is on them from the time you get them from the waiting room until the time you walk them, yes, I said walk them, back to that waiting area. You don't walk away from the bed and say, okay, you can get up now, and the waiting room is out to your left. You walk them back to the waiting room. Love and belonging. Many patients, especially children and the elderly, can be slow to recover or even die if this need is not met. Keeping in mind that, you as new healthcare sonographers, you may feel very empathetic. You're going to have to be careful of that as well. We want to be empathetic, but we can't be, we can't be in a meltdown when we see some of the things that we see: a terminally ill patient, maybe a child, somebody that a fetal demise, for example. So we need to be sensitive, empathetic, and do things very professional. But we need to let these people know we do care. Family, friends, and members of the healthcare profession can fulfill this important need. Again, it's communication, sometimes a soft communication. Sometimes these individuals come very frustrated. Sometimes they've been delivered bad news, so they're a little bit angry. You don't want to, make that worse. You have to know how to, while I cannot understand what you're going through, what can I help you with today? Would you like me to explain the procedure? Do you want me to get you another, sheet over you? What can I do for you today while we're doing this test? And ask them that. Self-esteem, while patients are ill or injured, they may feel that they are not productive or attractive, and again, it might be from the simple thing of, oh my goodness, I didn't shave my legs, to maybe, a recent amputation, and they're feeling very self-conscious about that. So you want to, certainly, you can gauge whether they want to talk about it or not. But certainly assist them. How is it best for me to assist you to get up on the table? Do you think I need another person to help us get you up on the table? Not knowing you, I'm not sure, what your expectations of me are in order to help you. And then self-actualization, many people feel the need to pursue learning and understanding through their adult lives. And again, we can help them learn about their illness. Be very careful as students in what you share with patients. You are young in your career, you're young in your education. Do not provide them information that may not be accurate. Leave that up to the staff sonographers. You don't want to tell the patient, well, if you go out to Wikipedia, you can find all about, ultrasound in the abdomen and all the diseases that we might be looking for. You don't want to share that. The best communication you can have is to say, I recommend that you speak about this, speak to your physician about this. I'm not the best person to give you this information, therefore I recommend you speak to your physician.